Microsoft's strategy to dominate the AI market began with a $13 billion investment in OpenAI. The company planned to spend another $80 billion on the physical infrastructure required to run the software. This was more than a product launch. It was a bet on the scale of the company's entire future. They were building the hardware capacity for a tool they expected to reach every office desk on the planet. CEO Satya Nadella took personal responsibility for the shift, positioning the new AI as the defining priority of his leadership. Nadella compared the significance of this moment to the arrival of the personal computer in the 1980s. He also equated the push for AI to the expansion of the World Wide Web in the 1990s. These internal expectations set a bar that the product would eventually have to meet. Confident in this trajectory, Microsoft integrated the tool directly into the Windows 11 taskbar and rebranded Office 365. They acted on the assumption that their market presence would make the adoption of the tool inevitable. The true test of that assumption arrived when the software was presented to 450 million corporate customers. The response from the enterprise market was a nearly total rejection. 96% of those potential customers declined the software. Only a small fraction, less than 4%, was willing to pay the $30 monthly subscription fee required to use the tool. Despite controlling the ecosystem and possessing massive capital, Microsoft found that corporate clients would not pay for a service that failed to provide a clear return on the investment. The product was sold as an assistant that could take over manual computer tasks, allowing the user to focus on higher-level work. In practice, the experience was different. When asked to perform a simple task like formatting a document, the AI often responded with a list of instructions for the user to follow manually. This led users to describe the tool as a negative productivity boost. Instead of saving time, the software forced people to spend their hours correcting the AI's mistakes or navigating its interface. Frustrated users eventually gave the product a nickname that associated it with a previous era of failed software. They called it Clippy 2.0. For a $30 a month subscription, users realized they had purchased an expensive help menu rather than a functional assistant. With the enterprise market refusing to pay, Microsoft faced a massive revenue shortfall on their AI infrastructure. They needed to cover the costs. The company's response was a shift in strategy, moving the financial burden of the project away from corporations and toward individual consumers. To generate cash, Microsoft raised prices on their personal plans by 45%. Family plans saw a 29% increase. This strategy relied on making cheaper subscription tiers harder to find, while pushing the more expensive AI-integrated plans to the front of the user experience. The Australian government eventually intervened, suing Microsoft for over $50 million. Regulators argued that these pricing tactics were deceptive to consumers. Treating individual users as a bailout fund for a failing corporate product resulted in both a loss of brand trust and significant legal penalties. While the public and regulators pushed back, a more significant challenge was emerging from within Microsoft's own development teams. The engineers responsible for maintaining Windows and Office began to abandon the company's own AI tool. Internal directives revealed that these developers were instructed to use a competitor's AI, Claude, because Microsoft's own product was unable to handle the required workload. When the people who build a technology refuse to use it for their own work, the product's credibility in the global market disappears. As the data on low corporate adoption rates and internal rejections became public, Wall Street reacted by pulling back on the company's valuation. In just 1 week, Microsoft's market capitalization dropped by $500 billion. The assumption of endless AI-driven growth was replaced by a more sober assessment of the product's actual utility. A $13 billion investment was lost because the company prioritized market dominance over the user experience. When a tool fails to solve problems for its users, no amount of corporate capital can force the world to adopt it.